What's up, dudes? I got a corn dog fresh out of the air fryer. Listen to the crunch. I don't know if you can hear it. It's really good. Somebody might be realizing how much religious indoctrination they grew up with, and how a false sense of reality is so dangerous. I'm thinking about my ex. He grew up in a pretty strict Seventh-day Adventist family. And Seventh-day Adventists fall under the category of cults. And so why is that? They believe in a modern-day prophet. And so kind of bullet points of cults are a modern-day religious cults, modern-day prophet, a nihilistic ending, only a certain amount of room in salvation. And so you get religiously indoctrinated into this belief. And what it does is feed into your ego. And so I remember in my interactions with extended family members who were very devout SDA, they would talk a lot about homosexuality. And they would say it like that. The big taboo. Homosexuality. I remember his uncle told me how him and his father would talk about homosexual feelings. Very like they went to a seminar on homosexuality. That man's wife in the 80s ran a conversion therapy program, literally like pray the gay away. And very proud of her work. She was very proud of her work. In fact, this is how she said it. In fact, we took a homosexual under our wing. Let him move in with us. Unfortunately, we lost him to homosexuality. Yeah, he ended up ending his life. Like, you do realize you killed that dude, right? Right? Like, nobody told these people, you do realize you killed that dude by not letting him be his authentic self. Right? This uncle was a cancer doctor, and he told me how once I had a client who came into my office and said, "Doc, I'm having homosexual thoughts. What should I do?" Well, he went into his desk and pulled out the pamphlet for his wife's conversion therapy. This was real big in the 80s, conversion therapy. Pray the gay away. Obsess about homosexuality. Feed your own ego. And then when you mindfuck somebody so much that they off themselves, you say, "What? Lost one to homosexuality." No, no, no. Your bloated bobblehead of moral righteousness killed that dude. So, the Seventh-day Adventists, their modern prophet, Ellen White, some 17-year-old farm girl. See, SDA is a rather new religion. It started in the 1800s when a 17-year-old farm girl got hit in the fucking face by a rock and started having visions and claiming she was a prophet. And all of these people have lived their life in religious oppression due to the ramblings of a bored teenage farm girl with mental health issues she just decided, you're not supposed, if you're going to be really strict, you're not supposed to wear jewelry, you're not supposed to play cards, you're not supposed to ride a bicycle, like any fun you're not supposed to have, can't eat any bottom feeder fish, no pork, no nothing, no caffeine, no anything, no fun, no nothing. And definitely no homosexuality. Yeah, I don't think she actually said the homosexuality part, but they jumped on that train. So when you get indoctrinated from birth, you don't critically think, yeah, this is a 17-year-old farm girl who got hit in the face with a rock. It's where my ex-mother-in-law, she had cancer, and she went to the best cancer treatment place in the world, the Rochester Mayo Clinic, and thank God she beat it. She beat it. And her cancer doctors, when she beat her cancer, gave her a pin, a beautiful pin, a gold pin with some jewels in it, a really nice quality pin that she earned, that was given to her by some of the most intelligent people in the world. And I watched her and her daughter sit on my couch and discuss whether or not it was appropriate to put that pin on her jacket, because their religion says, yeah, well, jewelry's vain. So what did they do? Well, we'll just have to talk to our pastor about it. The next time I saw them, I said, hey, what did your pastor ever say about that pin? I was not born into this form of religious indoctrination, so I can see this all in a way they got a veil over, and they can't see it at all. She said, well, I did talk to my pastor, and my pastor said, I will anoint it with oil. And of course you can wear it after that. Oh, the pastor just gonna slide right in and get some supply? Just insert himself right in there? Now he made it holy so she can wear it? Yeah, but it was holy before, when the smartest people in the world cured her cancer. But now he's gonna jump on it. There are some people who, due to their religious indoctrination, just think it's almost like they're a victim of their religion. If I just be a good student of my religion and do whatever my pastor says, I will get into salvation. I don't have to think for myself. I just have to regurgitate everything I'm indoctrinated in. I don't have to make my own mind up. I don't have to make my own choices. All I have to do is be a good student of whatever this narcissistic pastor tells me I can or cannot do, based on this narcissistic 17-year-old who decided she had a direct line to God. within that religion, there is a lot of sexual abuse. A lot of sexual abuse. A lot of bloated bobblehead of moral righteousness. A lot of condemning the homosexuality. All because some 17-year-old got hit in the face with a rock and started having voices telling her she's the person to God. Now people will spend up to 6 hours every Saturday at Sabbath just regurgitating these indoctrinational teachings, thinking they're earning brownie points with God, staying stuck, not evolving spiritually, just regurgitating the same things over and over again, and then stroking each other's egos about the wicked ones. So that specific religion believes the Catholics are the Antichrist. And when they found out I went to Catholic school, my ex-mother-in-law told me, I didn't know you were that kind of person. For the first 3 to 5 years of my marriage, I would get How to Be a Good Seventh-day Adventist Wife type books, books on Seventh-day Adventism. Yeah, I'm not going to be SDA, and our daughter never participated in any SDA stuff. The one time we went to a SDA get-together, my ex, who went to a SDA school, we went to the school, and the pastor came over, all like big veneer, glowing white teeth. Hi, who is this? With this young Asian woman kind of trailing behind him. His mother said, this is my son, his wife, and their daughter. My son was with his dad at the time. Hi. It was so reptilian, it was like he was sniffing us out. Then he goes and he walks away. And then my ex-mother-in-law said, that's his mail order bride. He got a mail order bride. Watching this Asian woman just kind of trail behind him. Then my ex's sister says, oh, hey, look, there's somebody you went to this private SDA school with, walking through the door. I watched my ex have a serious panic attack, look at me and say, I have to get out of here. I said, I'm here. Let's go. Let's get out of here. The whole campus, they call it a campus. It looked like it's a high school that has dormitories. It's in Hutchinson, Minnesota. It's called Maplewood Academy. It's big. It looks like a small college. And I asked a family friend who was raised SDA and is not super devout. And I said, do they fill those dorms up? Like, are there that many private school paying SDA people that are filling those dorms up for a high school? And she said, well, Well, what the church is trying to do is expand its outreach. We're trying to get more black people. Tell me more. I said, tell me more. Well, now they're doing mission trips down to Africa, trying to recruit more black people. Tell me more. So what their plan has been, apparently, according to this person who is in the know, is they send mission trips down to Africa and make deals with African mothers, poor African mothers, and say, hand over your child to us. We will bring them to the United States of America. We will house them in this dormitory. We will feed them. They can go from this like dirt floor that you're living in to the United States of America, where they're guaranteed food 3 times a day. All you have to do is just let us take your kid. Well, you can't afford the very expensive tuition and room and board. That's okay. Your child can work it off. So Seventh-day Adventists have, it's a business. It's a huge business. They have a whole food line, book line, all sorts of stuff. They used to grow strawberries out in the field. And if you couldn't afford your tuition, you would go pick strawberries that they would in turn around and sell. Yeah. Indentured servitude is slavery. So what they're doing is getting slave kids whose family cannot afford the cost of that whole thing and having those kids be slaves to the business. Yeah, now they're going to Africa to get more black kids. Religious indoctrination is pretty evil because people don't think beyond what they were told is absolute reality. The first SDA funeral I was in, my daughter was a toddler. It was a funeral of a really delightful woman that I really liked. She was always nice to me. I don't know how she was in her own personal life, but with me, she was always very kind. And before the funeral, it was at a different church, a different religion's church that borrowed the church to these people, and to host the funeral or funeral home or whatever it was. Okay, that might mean something. And I have only been to, I had never been to a Seventh-day Adventist funeral before with a Seventh-day Adventist pastor. And the funerals I have been to, including Catholic, but other religions too, is it usually goes like this. Right before the funeral, you go into a small, like the immediate close family goes into a small room, and it's kind of like a pep talk from the pastor to get this family prepared for the very emotional thing that's going to happen, the funeral. And so it's usually very loving, very supportive, everybody coming together, holding hands, maybe saying a prayer. And it's to prep these people who are so close to the deceased and to give them love and support to get through the funeral. That's how usually every funeral works. So that's what I was expecting. And they went in, the immediate family went into the little room, and somebody said, Mike, Molly, Lucy, come in. So we went in there too. And I was getting ready to start. I bowed my head. The first thing the pastor said, Satan is in the room with us today. I almost dropped my kid. It was the last thing I expected this dude to say. Fiery brimstone shit. One family member was so upset that she just laid in the kind of lounge room the whole time on a couch with her face smashed into the couch, just sobbing. I later asked my ex, what was that? He said, well, this religion thinks Satan rules death. And when somebody dies in this religion, they don't get the comfort of, like, for example, grandma's up in heaven now and she's our guardian angel and she's looking down upon us. They don't get that. They believe the deceased is going to be in the ground in a concept called soul sleep, where their body is just asleep. It's just on mute pause. So there's no deceased people are anybody's guardian angels in this religion. They're in the ground in soul sleep, waiting for the second coming of Jesus Christ, where they will arise like zombies, come out, and ascend up to heaven. It sounds totally buffoony. Not to them. They were religious indoctrinated. They've heard this since they were in a baby bassinet. And they believe it hook, line, and sinker. So the one family member was sobbing in the couch. No comfort that this person is in they're in soul sleep. Everybody buying into this BS. So much abuse happening. Then we start the funeral. My daughter starts getting fussy. So I go into that lounge area where that family member is still laying on the couch, her face smashed into the couch, sobbing. And two random kids that I don't know that were some guests to the two little bratty boys, running around the room, causing chaos, making a paper airplane and throwing it at the sobbing person. I said, boys, leave her alone. I went over to that person, put my hand on their back. I said, hi, it's me, Molly. I'm just going to let you know I have a box of tissues right here, and I'm going to put them right next to you if you need them. And I heard a muffled thank you. This person was clearly devastated, and these little brats kept harassing her. These little whooping brats that somebody just ditched in that room. And then the door opens up, and this bossy dude that I don't know came walking in and said, control those boys. There is a funeral going on. I said, these aren't my kids. And I have told them to stop throwing things at the weeping person. Maybe you should find their parents. But they're so concerned about homosexuality. Religious indoctrination, man. The lowest vibration of it, too, reared its ugly head. I know there are plenty of SDA people that practice high vibrational versions of their religion. I didn't see it.